So it's always helpful to do a little bit of stretch before sitting, I find, if you've been sitting a long time. There are a couple little stretches which I've led before, which we'll do again. It's nice to reach your arms up overhead and let yourself sway a little bit from side to side. If you lean into your neighbor, that's okay. You can alternate lifting the heel of one hand a little bit higher than the other. And you can lift your chin a little bit, open your jaw wide. And if you deepen your breath with your jaw wide open, you might invoke the yawn reflex. So see if you can invite in a big yawn, and it's also helpful to let out any sounds. And then, if you like, you can interlace your fingers and bring your hands to the top of your head. Draw your navel in toward your spine and press down to the floor of the pelvis and begin to slow down and deepen your breath. If you can, try to inhale slowly to the count of 4. Exhale slowly to the count of 4. We're going to do this for a few rounds of breath. And as you do, is it possible to pull the breath all the way up to the upper lobes of the lungs? And that's all the way up under your collarbones. What you're doing here when you hold this for about a minute is you're taking the slack out of the muscles that get chronically lengthened from too much sitting. And you're actually opening the chest, the muscles that get chronically shortened. So take in one more long, deep inhalation. And then again, reach your arms up overhead. Let out any sounds. And close your eyes. Feel the space between your fingers. And then very slowly feel your hands as they float through space. And let this be a slow motion concentration meditation. Feel the micro movements of the hands moving through space. And no matter where your hands are, if they're in transit, stay with it. If they've come to rest, just feel the hands from the inside. And you might sense, is there any way your body might like to move or adjust as you settle in for this meditation? Many little micro movements. You may find it helpful to, again, slow down and deepen your breath. And just a few minutes of breathing in slowly to the count of 4 or 5, and matching the length of the exhalation. This can cultivate a sense of concentration, a sense of absorption. How intimately can you feel the breath? And in your own time, you might release control of the breath and let your breath be effortless and free-flowing. And where do you feel the breath the most predominant on the inside? And as I mention a body part, you might let your awareness move to that part of the body, not to make anything happen, but to sense how intimately you can experience it, feel it, beginning with the scalp, the crown of the head. And the forehead and temples. And the muscles around the eyes. And the muscles of the face. And the lips. And the tongue. And the back of the head and the base of the skull. And the back of the neck and the tops of the shoulders. And the throat. And the left shoulder blade. And the right shoulder blade. And the left shoulder. And the right shoulder. And sensing the weight and the volume of the arms, sensing down through the elbows. Down through the wrists. And the backs of the hands. The palms. The thumbs and fingers. The lungs and the heart. The diaphragm and rib cage. The lower back and buttocks. And the belly and the lower abdomen. The hip joints and the floor of the pelvis. And sensing down the length of the legs, down through the knees. the backs of the knees and the kneecaps. And down through the ankles and heels. The tops of the feet and the toes. And the soles of the feet. Sensing this balance of being deeply relaxed and at the same time alert. Sensing who you are as the one who is aware. The breath is happening. Sounds are happening. A narrative in the mind is happening. Is it possible to cultivate a sense of non-judging awareness of what is here and changing? You may find it helpful to anchor your attention in the movement of the breath, or perhaps the sounds, or perhaps the feeling in the palms. And when you notice the mind far away, gently guide your attention back to the experience of here and now. And as you continue, you may notice a fundamental distinction. Being lost in the commentary or the thinking process versus being fully present to the experience of here and now. And from time to time, it's helpful to refresh the practice, to slow down and notice how intimately you can track the movement of the breath on the inside. And to again connect with the actual sound vibrations. And to sense the aliveness of the body, and the perception of pulse or tingling, warmth, coolness. You can establish your attention with the anchor to ride the experience, and then, if you wish, to broaden, widen your awareness, to notice everything in your experience that is changing. This seat of the witness, of the observer. these remaining minutes, you might inquire, is there anything in the mind, anything in the body that could relax right now? Is there anything that could soften right now? Is there anything that could let go right now? If you were to let go of all technique, if you were to let go of all effort right now, what happens inside? You might again gently re-engage the breath, breathing a little deeper, a little fuller. And again, just feel the movement of the breath on the inside. With your eyes closed, you might let your head drift a little bit to the left and right. And over these next few minutes, no hurry, no rush. Take this time for your transition.